was working at Google who were just wasting money and like nobody told them the right things. So that's really empowering. Like when you realize you're saving a business that's like they're feeding their family because he's a plumber, but he's wasting all this money on Google AdWords. So those two things.
Great. Any other questions? All right, if you come up with them, we can ask them at the end too.
Yeah, at any time. So now we'll talk Google AdWords. I was 2013. I thought this picture was cooler. So the online marketing challenge, thank God it exists. Like you guys should be so happy that you're in this. This is incredible. Search engine marketing, Google makes $75 billion a year on this. They're constantly updating their algorithms. They're constantly updating the ads. 2 weeks ago, they made the ads, I don't know if they used to be like full green, like when it says ad, because they have to annotate that it's an ad. Now it's kind of like hollowed out, so it's like transparent around it. So what they're doing there, I bet they get an increase of 0.1% on click-throughs. What's that mean to their bottom line? A lot more money. So they're always updating, and those are things you'll learn about for SEO and pay-per-click, and some things I'll mention today. But I took the marketing challenge class in 2013 with Jim Jansen, Penn State. Our class was, I think we had 40-some people. So we had a big class.
That's how they just throw lots of teams in there.
Yeah, I think we had 12 teams.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah. And so what I tried to do starting out in the class is I had my business, Happy Valley Repairs, the phone repair company. And I was like, well, let's use this as the company. And there was a little conflict of interest there. I think we got $250 free. Is that what you guys get? So we had that money and I wanted to put that towards sending ads and business to my business, but we couldn't. What I wish I knew was that I should have focused on a client like myself, something that's more practical and less obscure to advertise for. Because you got to think about Google AdWords as a platform and how most people are using it and how you can benefit the end client. So that gets back to goals. I talk about life goals, talk about client goals. If a client's goal is to get their phone to ring, if it's to sell e-commerce, if it's to get more branding through YouTube views, find out what your client's goals are and then reverse engineer how to get them more of those goals. Then we'll also talk about attribution. So the client we ended up with is Route 1 Apparel, which is an apparel company. It's e-commerce. We didn't even run Google Shopping ads. We had no idea what that is. If we would have ran something cool like that, I mean, that's a huge undertaking, but that includes data feeds, merchant centers, shopping optimizations. That's a lot of work, but we just ran search campaigns and I tried to like learn what display campaigns were and nobody else was doing that. So that was like a cool added benefit, which we can talk about that as well. But e-commerce is not going to be a good example for you unless you go all out and can build something out like that. If you're looking for something that's more, data-driven results through search, think about how people use search and what clients are looking for as far as like why they're using AdWords. If you're a local plumber, if we get back to that example, it's like, how are people finding you? It's like, I'm not going in the yellow pages. Like, I'm not like scrolling through my Facebook feed. Like, I'm not like seeing your display ad on another website and like, oh, like there's a plumber. Like I'm gonna search on Google for a plumber. So picking the client is very important. We can go to the next one. This is the company, or this is the team that beat me. Yeah. These two are in Philly now. So they got top 10 in the US. I think we were like top 25 maybe. I can't remember who the client was, but it was a local service business. So that really helped. So we got second behind them. Some keys to success. Your team and your roles. Have those well defined. If there's, how many to a team? 5, 6?
6.
That's a lot. That's awesome. So you might have 2 or 3 people doing like a similar role. Like maybe somebody will be doing like daily keyword optimizations, or somebody will be doing generating reports. break out different roles and what's defined within those roles, and then have somebody be sort of like the manager of the group, like making sure everybody's like staying on task and things are staying up to date. And then there should also be somebody detailing everything that's going on, because you guys are doing more in-depth reports than, like, you have a post-campaign report. I don't do that stuff for my clients. I just send them like an analytics and AdWords report every month. So those are important things as far as like getting proper results and documentation. KPIs, key performance indicators. I'm sure you've heard that term before. Let's go a little deeper here. Let's like not talk about clicks and impressions. Something that I focus on with my business and my clients is attribution, ROI, return on investment, return on ad spend. And that's how you can stand out, is by going next level. So if you want to stand out, you got to try new things like display ads on the Google Display Network. They hit pretty much like 70% of the public websites in the US, so they have a pretty solid reach. And you can talk about remarketing, maybe syncing up their analytics to their AdWords and sharing the information between those two products, and then enabling remarketing and doing custom remarketing lists. You would look brilliant. You can talk about setting up a shopping campaign or YouTube ads or email ads, and we'll talk about some of those things. So some of the KPIs, like you guys have probably heard of click-through rate, cost per click, CPA. Did you guys talk about that at all? So cost per acquisition. If you want to start talking about attribution and return on ad spend, like that's when you really know if you're getting out what you put in. If you're just throwing $1,000 a month for an account for a plumber, and he's like, oh, like I'm not getting any phone calls. It's like, okay, well, how do we know? It's like we're sending people to your website. So there's things like CallRail that you can implement, that you can do like dynamic keyword or dynamic number insertion to a specific landing page. Like that's next level stuff, but just something to get your mind thinking. And then you can throw in estimated, I say estimated conversion values. So this is like getting really deep here. It's like in-depth stuff. If you're getting 10 clicks and their goal is to get phone calls, and they get one phone call, and one phone call, let's say you're getting 100 clicks and you're getting 10 phone calls, so 1 out of 10. And then one of those phone calls leads to a sale of $100. But you just got 100 clicks for $2 cost per click. Well, now you're net negative $100 on your return on ad spend. You see the attribution I'm getting at here? So you throw estimated conversion weights towards these conversions, and then you can measure the ROI.
You guys will all have to do that for this competition.
They're doing that?
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't do any of that. That's some cool stuff. Most agencies don't do that, to be honest.
Something to look forward to. You guys are going to be super fancy.
Opportunities. It depends on the client. Align your client goals with how you set up the structure of the account. Depending on I think the marketing challenge changes every year as far as what they're looking for. Just depending on what Google's trying to research and focus on, because that's kind of why Google does some of this. But it depends on the client. Who has the axe throwing company? So we'll use that as an example. Now, I'm not searching for axe throwing at any point in my life. I probably never will. In fact, if you use that as one of your keywords, you're probably going to get low search volume, which means not enough people are searching for it. I don't know if they've created campaigns yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you get that as a result?
We didn't put axe throwing in any of our keywords.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Google basically says, if there aren't people bidding on this already, we're not even going to show the ad for this term, because they're not going to get any money. There's no competition because it's an auction. Somebody has to be bidding $1 for you to bid $1 to show up above them. So if it was plumbing though, there's more people searching for plumbing, in which case you could use that keyword, and then it's easier to get clicks for that. So you guys are going to have to bid on you're going to have to bid on broader terms. Things to do in Philadelphia, corporate retreats, nightlife events. Like, what are you guys bidding on?
Essentially what you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of some things,
Yeah.
yeah.
What you're gonna realize is this is gonna make it really tough for measuring results and putting together like a good report. So what you guys are gonna have to do is, well, first off, you're gonna spend a lot of money and you're gonna waste a lot of money. That's just the fact of the matter with search. So you might want to do more off the wall stuff, like display ads, like YouTube ads. If you guys get some YouTube ads running, I think that would hit. You might not get them a lot of sales, but for branding and awareness, that's really cool. Like somebody just chucking an axe. There's not many teams in this competition doing YouTube ads. And then if you set up remarketing and you get somebody, you can set up remarketing where you get somebody click on a display ad on visitphilly.com, a banner at the top. It's like 45-cent click, 85-cent click. Well, that's going to be cheaper than bidding on things to do in Philadelphia and trying to show up at the top of the page and paying $2, $3 a click, right? So now we got branding awareness, we got a lower cost per click. Then we hit them with a tracking code. They go to the website, we tag them, we cookie them, and now we hit them with a YouTube ad afterwards. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
That's what you guys should do.
Can you talk about Gmail?
Yeah, what do you think about Gmail?
Do you have an email list? Because if not,
Oh, you could get an email list actually.
Could. They
Yeah.
have them.
That's what Dan was saying.
Yeah, we
Definitely
just,
email.
the last guy who came in talked about it a lot, and like, just more insight, if you have any, about Gmail.
I mean, you could do
Your
customer
opinion.
match, or you could do by like different targeting options. Like customer match allows you to, like, if they're signed into their Gmail, you could hit them with a remarketing. Like if they're on, if they already collected that email, like let's say, what is it, Urban Axis? If they collected that email, you could add them to an email remarketing list within your audiences tab, get that verified, and then you could hit that audience with search remarketing. So if they're searching and they're logged into their Google account, you could hit them with that, or you could hit them with a remarketing through an email ad or in their Gmail. But as far as Gmail targeting, ad copy is really important. Your headline, like what shows up at the promotions tab, that's going to be really important. We don't do much with that just because we haven't seen the greatest results, but I think it's really cool for awareness, and I think it'd be a good idea for you guys to go with. The ad itself, the design, that's going to be really important, and then the headline is going to be really important. It's like, sort of like a call to action. So I think it's a good idea, something to try. Only problem that you guys have is you have $250.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys need
Yeah.
like $2,500.
Story of our lives.
Yeah. I think that's all I have for you. Now we can just take whatever questions. That's my girlfriend. Wait, what's the last slide again? These are all things I talked about. You know, why are you taking this class? Get something out of it. Like, this is very practical. This is real world skills. If you really care about, you know, search engine marketing and getting your certification, and you're good at it, you'll get a job for sure.
We're hoping 100% certifications before the end of the semester.
It's a good goal.
We'll see what happens. So, you guys look nervous.
I feel like you always say we look like that.
Yeah.
I always shake my head yes though. I always say yes, I am nervous.
That is so much great information. Thank you again
Can you
for
send
coming
us this
in.
presentation?
Would
This is gonna help? Maybe I'll send you this video.
Yeah, the video, that'd be great.
And then you should make us all watch it so you get views.
Yeah.
Just put it in
Just
the
upload it, make us all watch
Where
it.
you-
Do you know who it is?
All about
What,
the
do I know
content.
who this
Yeah.
is? Now, say, am I
She's
dating
from
myself?
Dr. Phil. She's 13 years old.
No, she's not.
Yeah, she is.
Wait, she's 13?
Yeah.